Arsenal,
Oh yes,
we are Arsenal.
no mercy.
We're Arsenal forever. We are Arsenal.
Road to Wembley.
We love Arsenal.
Yes, evening and welcome to another preview show, sponsored by FTB Sports. Please like, share and subscribe, smash the likes. It's the Arsenal Everton preview show. I've got my teeth back in now. So anyway, guys, we have Gumza. Welcome, Gumza.
Thank you very much.
And our residents, Brezzy and GunnerKing. How you doing, guys? We good?
All good.
Good, thanks.
Good stuff.
Good, thank you. Yeah.
It's been a quiet week. Well, obviously, it's been a messy week, really, in terms of the whole footballing world. It's gone absolutely nuts. But to bring some sort of sanity back to our lives, there is the Premier League weekend starts tomorrow with us playing Everton. I have to say, I'm going to be controversial. I don't really care. I'm serious. I don't really care about this game, to be honest, because we have. I'm not doing a preview, for Thursday's game, but that for me is the most important thing. This right now for me is a filler, where we're without Aubameyang and Lacazette. But Brezzy, I mean, do you feel the same way as me? I mean, with everything that's going on, I think this game for me is just really taking a back seat. And you know what? The importance of this game. Do we care?
Unfortunately, yes. We don't care. I mean, all eyes are on Thursday for the Europa League. I wish things were differently. We'd be focusing on this game for the league, for hopefully top 6 or top 4 plays. Obviously, that's clearly not happening.
That says it all about this season. Top? Sorry, I'll let you continue. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it's been a very, very poor season. We all know this. It's been very, very poor. The only thing that we've got to really play for is now the Europa League, and Mikel has to put all eggs in his basket for that game. No Aubameyang, no Lacazette for Everton. He's going to have to pay the youngsters. He's going to have, Balogun, Eddie Nketiah, Martinelli. They have to play. But I would put Reece Nelson on right just to give Sakra just some sort of break, because obviously we're going to need him for Thursday. He needs to do a very, very careful team selection on for tomorrow, because a lot of them are pretty much holding for Thursday, and that is our game. For Thursday next week. Sorry. Just he has to play. The youth.
Yeah.
If we drop points, we drop points. End of the day, we can't really play for them in the league. We ain't got FA Cup. We ain't got Carabao Cup. We've got nothing to play for. Can't get relegated. We can't go up.
It's just, I don't know if any of you guys remember in the 1993 season, we were so poor, but we end up winning 2 cups, and in the league towards the end of the season, it felt just like this, that don't really care. King, talk to me. I mean, how would you? Arteta certainly has. Brezzy was touching it, a juggling act to make in return in terms of team selection.
Yeah, I still don't like the idea of turning off entirely for the league. I think last week was a really big chance. West Ham dropped points. Everton.
Yeah, but how many times have
Tottenham dropped points? I still think teams are going to drop points ahead of us, and we got to try and win every game. I think it's all well and good saying we can put our eggs in the basket of next week, but we lose the game tomorrow, we lose it in a particularly bad fashion, and it knocks the confidence going into next week's game, then that's not very good either. So, I still want to see us play to win that game. I still want to see a fairly strong team. I think a 7-day week, kind of interval with no other game. I think professional footballers have had to deal with worse. So, no, I want to see him. I want to see him put a strong team out, and I want to see us try and win that game. Right? Where they beat us in the league last time 2-1, which I wasn't too happy about. I don't want to see him do a double over us, and I think it will put us very close, if not above those guys as well, because they're around us.
No, I mean, listen, nobody wants to see our team lose, and I totally get that we need to finish as high as possible. But Gumza, I mean, in terms of us, where can we finish this season for the league? Where can we finish? I mean,
Anywhere between 13th and 8th, really, and honestly.
It keeps happening week after week. Teams drop points. We fail to capitalize. It's like, but I mean, can we finish any higher than 8th?
It's frustrating because it's like there's been chances we can jump up or come 2 points behind the team, and then we throw it away again. So I'm not saying we can't do it, but actually every time I thought, we're 4 points behind Tottenham, or if we win this game, we're 2 points behind this team, we then end up dropping points against the silly ones. When I look back at kind of the season, I think we've done pretty well around the teams against us. So as much as on paper, I could say we shouldn't really stand a chance after drawing with Fulham, Arsenal being Arsenal will go and beat Everton tomorrow. And then we will then lose another City game along the way. So with regards to tomorrow, I think if he's going to rest everybody. I think half resting, you set yourself up to fail almost. Then again, these people start blaming the players. And I think if we're going to rest them, then just rest everybody and just focus on next Thursday. I'm not really for it. I'd rather us go with a strong team, try and win that game. And again, I think what we learned from the Sheffield United game, we stumbled across something with Xhaka playing left back. And then we carried it forward onto the Thursday. So for me, it will be a good scalp to beat Everton. I think with what's his name? Forgot his Everton manager coming in the same time as Arteta. I think he's always kind of getting measured against Ancelotti. So I think it would be a good one for him to go and win, because every time he's compared to anybody, it's kind of Ancelotti. It's like they've come in at the same time. Look at the job Ancelotti's done. Look at the job Arteta's done. So I think for him personally, it is an important one to go and win. You could afford maybe to lose to a Liverpool. You could afford to lose to City because they're a lot longer in their journey with their managers. Whereas I think Ancelotti is the one who we base Arteta's run against more than any other manager. So for me, I think for his personal achievement, I think this would be an important game to win.
Just as a side, both of them at the time, who would you have plumped for? Ancelotti or Arteta?
I think, do you know, I wasn't against Arteta. I quite liked something. I just wanted something fresh and new. I think Ancelotti probably, if I'm honest, would have probably done better with the players we had. But I feel the bigger problem is actually we would have just done the same thing again. You probably would have got a tune out of them for a bit. We might have qualified for top 4, but the root of the problems are still going to be there. So for me, something brand new, something fresh. I quite like Arteta. And to be fair, at first when his name was mentioned, I was like, hey, where's that come from? But I think it's not a bad idea to do something a bit different. So yeah, I definitely think Ancelotti probably would have done more with the team we got than Arteta's done. But I think then 2 years' time we'll still be in the same position. Right. I think we still have.
So you're saying that you see a process, you see a work in progress here with Arteta?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I feel don't get me wrong, our position is not good enough. Like a team of Arsenal, doesn't matter who you've got in that 11, that 15,
that's what I'm struggling
25.
With. And that for me, is the bread and butter. Okay, cup competitions, you can, for an FA Cup, you can win 7 games. Do you know what I mean? You can go on a good run and win 7 games. You can go into in Europe and win, home and away, or you can draw away, win at home, or whatever. You can do that. But the league for me is your bread and butter, and you're really kind of like I really judge a manager by his league position. And to be fair, in recent history, this is a throwback to near enough to the end of George Graham's tenure. This league position. But no, listen. I totally, see, that's the thing. Sometimes I struggle. I can sometimes see, those green shoots of something happening, and all of a sudden we'll have a Fulham. And it's like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, kind of thing.
Yeah. See,
for me, sorry, Chris.
No, carry on.
Yeah, so for me, I'm not sure if you don't know my background. I do a bit of coaching, and so I coach an under-15 team. And I think what I've been able to do this year is look at the progress we've made under our test. So sometimes the result hasn't been great, and I look back and think, do you know what? It's the smallest of margins of why we're not probably 6th or 5th. Again, silly penalties, defensive mistakes. So I'm looking at it as actually, if he can bring in the right personnel, and it probably might only be 2 or 3 more, it could make a massive difference to our league position. So even again, you take the Fulham game, we was dominant. Should have scored, didn't, do you know what I mean? Missed a few chances, and then it was just one rash tackle. So I find it hard to blame the manager. I know he picks the players. I understand that. And to me, Mari has probably been one of our better centre-backs, and to drop him for Gabriel, and then Gabriel again makes another mistake. It's, for me, I can't blame Arteta sometimes for those things. The Liverpool game, wasn't happy with how we performed in that. Although it's not new for us to get beat 3-0 by Liverpool. These things have been going on for years. So again, I get why the fans were in uproar, because we had kind of been better against the better 5 teams as such. And that one was kind of like, actually, we didn't even lay a glove on them. And we kind of just surrendered. But again, I'm used to seeing Arsenal hold 8-6s, 5s, 4s. I think if you think back at the time at Emery, when we were conceding like 25 shots against Brighton and things like that. So I think there was a lot of work to be done. And to me, he's not done too badly. And I think maybe it could be one player could be the difference in this team, like, or 1 or 2. Do you know what I mean? It's the little mistakes which really cost us sometimes, and the individual errors. So yeah, this year I've definitely taken a more backseat and just let him kind of coach through it. Let him clear out what he needs to clear out. So I think the core of our team was rotten, wasn't it? So it's almost like, actually, do you know what? Leave him in charge. Let him rip it apart. I don't know if he's going to be the long-term future manager for Arsenal, but I think a new manager coming in at this stage might get a tune out of these players, and then all of a sudden we start giving Bellerin another 3-year contract and other players. So do you know what? Let Arteta do the job. If he rips it apart and next year he fails, do you know what? We might be in a better position, because these players for years have shown us actually they're probably not the level of an Arsenal Football Club team. So rather than keep changing manager and we still might get a top 4, then we end up 6th, then we end up 8th, I'd rather let Arteta do the work. And then if it means next year he goes and another manager comes in, he might have a better squad to play with, because our squad, to me, is just not the level. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
No, that's, to get like that kind of tactical kind of aspect of and seeing that angle, that kind of, is an eye opener. So that's great. I think coming on obviously to the opposition that we're playing, Brezzy, we've kept only 3 clean sheets at home all season, right? However, Everton in the last 3 games have drawn all 3. They welcome back Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, and Gomez to the team. We are without both our first top choice strikers. Then you got players probably in their back in their minds thinking, okay, we got Thursday. Can we get a result here?
I mean, I would love for us to nick a result, and I mean, I never want Arsenal to lose or draw. You know,
that's the thing.
I always want
I'm
Arsenal to win.
Yeah, of course. I can't believe I'm thinking, are we going to beat Everton? That's the thing that's kind of bugging me here. But
it depends on if we turn up, because like, you know, for the season that we've seen, some people turn up, some people don't turn up, and I think that's the issue that we have. If we turn up and we play really, really well, we can nick a result. And I really
name me your back four tomorrow.
Cedric, Mari, Gabriel.
Ooh, two
I would
lefties.
love for Tierney to be there, but I'll go Saka. No, Shaka. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. 3 left footers in that back four.
Yeah.
You know, Arteta's all about balance. I can't see that happen, but I mean, I think the thing is, Mari has to play. I think, and I think he might give Holding a break. I'm thinking he might do that. Or listen, I'm all for kind of like, you know what, keep the back four as settled as possible.
I agree.
King, would you go along with that? I mean, you're back four. Do we kind of like
go with? I would even consider going with a 5 against Everton. They've got some dangerous forward players.
we welcome Iwobi back?
They've got Calvert-Lewin, who's obviously very dangerous. Sigurdsson's always dangerous in that number 10 position. You know, they've got Richardson. They're dangerous going forward. So, you know, I think maybe I would even go with Mari. You know, the back three kind of went with against Racist FC. So, like, you know, Mari, Callum Chambers was like an auxiliary kind of centre back on the right hand side.
Yeah.
And then, Gabriel or Holding on the other side, whichever one of those. So it means giving one of those guys a rest.
Yeah.
And then maybe just have Saka and Smith Rowe or Pepe on the other side as like a kind of wing back in that position.
It's a tricky one, because do we play in preparation for Thursday, or do we rest the players for Thursday? What do we? I mean,
I'm always one for match fitness. You know, keeping that up. You know, I think, you know, you can almost be at a similar kind of detriment from not kicking a ball competitively for 2 weeks as you can for having a rest the week before the game sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, just especially if you're building up fitness, or if it's like a psychological part of the game, like, you know, like confidence. You know, I think the clean sheets from the Sheffield United game gave us confidence to go to Dynamo and not concede again. So, you know, I think these things are all important. You know, I played as an attacking player, and I can tell you right now, you know, like the confidence you get from scoring a goal in a previous game, you know, to a game you're about to play is something you can really feed off. So, I think, you know, same for assists as well. If you manage to sort of contribute to a goal anyway, then these things are important to take into the next match.
No, I think I agree. But then there's the flip side of that same coin, where you got Sunday, Fulham, Lacazette, hamstring, bam. You know, someone's playing in confidence. You want to play. I think we're all crying out for Lacazette to keep playing, you know, for his confidence.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so you got to have that in the back of your mind. When to say when. I mean, Gumza, would you go along with that? I mean, how your back four? How would you like?
For me, I would go Chambers right back. I've been surprised how good he's been since he's come back into the team, to be fair. And this is bearing in mind we haven't played for 5-6 days now. The last game was Sunday, so I think they've had a rest, and then obviously the next game's Thursday. So for me, Chambers, Pablo Mari, Holding, and then I would say Granit Xhaka, just because I like Ceballos in midfield. So yeah, if Xhaka plays left back, then at least Ceballos will play centre mid. But again, you could put Cedric at left back if need be. But I think
they might put James Rodriguez on that side, cutting inside on his left foot. Now I know, I think Xhaka's done well at left back.
He hasn't been challenged really, though.
Yeah, I think against better opposition, he will get found out. And I think having to face James Rodriguez on that side when you're not
to be fair, it might actually be
I don't
better
like the sound of that.
Yeah, and what you're saying, if he's going to come inside, and that's going on Cedric's stronger foot. So actually, it might make sense for Cedric to play on that side.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because he's going to be more comfortable going in on the right foot against James' left foot. So yeah, Cedric's not a bad shout, to be fair.
Yeah.
Guys, but then there is that dilemma as well.
So I was just going to say this comment here. We're going to come back to this because this is a very important question. So we're going to come back to this question. Sorry, I just wanted to kind of put that in there. Sorry, Pete. I know I stopped you in flow, bro. Sorry, please.
Oh, that's all good. But I think for that reason, then again, revisiting mine, if I did play a back four, I think I would play Cedric on that side. For that reason.
That's interesting, actually. I think he's got a decision to make, Arteta, I think, and that's why he's paid the money he's paid. Whether to try and get something settled going in for Thursday, or do you know what? I know we've been training well. I know who's going to be playing on Thursday. It's all about getting 3 points and also juggling, saving players for Thursday. So I'm going to play with, as you say, Cedric left back, Chambers right back, and maybe someone like, it's only Holding really, isn't it? Who he's got as a right-footed centre back. So I'm pretty sure if they're absolutely 100% fresh and fit, I'm pretty sure he would play Mari and Holding, because there's a good time between.
I think
nearly a week really between the Everton game and Villarreal.
The games that I've noticed he's played Mari in is when we come up against strong centre forwards, like your target men. Guys that have got a bit more physicality about them, and guys that are good in the air. So I think, in lieu of expecting Calvert-Lewin to start, I think he will start Mari tomorrow.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think he'll try and get that stability going. But then we didn't look like conceding against Fulham, but there you are. Gamza, midfield. How would you like to see us set up in midfield?
Partey and Ceballos.
He's had a good week's rest, hasn't he, Partey? So
yeah. And again, we're not privy to seeing all the stats and when the players are in the red zones. So again, I wasn't against him resting against Fulham. He's had a lot of injuries this season, isn't it? So it is about managing him carefully. But yeah, I think he now should be back in this week. Do
you think he's had something to do with us being that bit more solid at the back and screening Mari and Holding? Do you think he's helped those two out?
Yeah, he definitely helps. He's very good in one-on-one situations. But what the reason why sometimes I would say vouch for Ceballos next to him is I think those two individually can hold their own. So it allows us to press higher. I feel with Xhaka sometimes he's very good at looking after his own. So again, when you've got Tierney bombing on, Xhaka will sit in there and say, right, I'll cover central on the left-hand side. But I don't think one against one, he wins his tackles, but when it comes to the pace of the game, I feel he gets missing. So I think when you look at the bigger picture again, I think Arteta would like to press more than sit back. But at the same time, if you haven't got the personnel, and again, if you've got David Luiz behind, who's going to get exposed for pace, him and Xhaka as your spine as such do you know what I mean? You can't press high. So for me, Ceballos gets around the pitch very, very well. He's very tenacious in his tackling as well. So yeah, for me in the centre mid, I would have Partey and I would have Ceballos. But again, the physicality, if they have got some of their strong midfielders in there, Xhaka is quite useful sometimes. But for me, Partey and Ceballos will start, and Smith Rowe in front in that 10. Can also drop in almost like an 8, so you could almost rotate into a 3 in midfield rather than a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could then play with Ceballos and Smith Rowe in front of Partey if you need to get a bit more balance in the midfield.
I like that. That sounds good. But there's one thing though, issue I have with Ceballos. Are you happy with him receiving the ball from the keeper?
Yeah, more than Xhaka. Do you know what?
Really?
Again, because he's made mistakes. He has made a few mistakes. But my problem is sometimes, and I'll be honest, I find Xhaka's a coward. I played defensive midfield, and I remember there's games where teams would press me, and I know where I can go to hide. So I haven't made the mistake in the game, but I haven't helped anybody out. Ceballos, to me, he wants to play football, and
you
touched
on a really good point there.
Ceballos is far more press resistant.
Yeah, I think Gums has touched on something there, which kind of gives you the mindset of a player, where you just said that, you know what, you received the ball, but you're going to give it, you're going to pass it, but even though you've not made the mistake, you've not helped out the other guy who's going to receive the ball, and that. Do you know what? That's such a good point, really, because it kind of, you know, some of the times Xhaka has done that, and I think that is such a good point, really, and it tells the mentality of a player. And I know Ceballos will try something.
Yeah,
he'll try something.
It doesn't always come off.
It doesn't always come. Yeah. When it comes off, it comes off. You know, like the back heels for the goals. You know, against Sheffield United, etc. When he done the first flick, I think he has probably this mindset. If he'll do one flick, if it comes off right, okay,
he's flicking all game. Yeah,
I'm flicking all game.
Shooting,
and
it's like me and shooting.
Yeah, he did what the first one he did against Sheffield United, the first flick, it came off. I was like, okay, let's do it. And then he did another one, and then the third one was for the setup for that goal, that little tiki-taka goal that we scored and everything. So yeah, I mean, when he's on song, he's on song. Yeah. The thing is, I think one thing I'm scared about with Ceballos getting the ball in off the keeper is that if he's not having the best of games, it can maybe
easily
play
go
on
wrong.
his I get your point.
Yeah, and again, for me, it's just if we want to build, he has to play, regardless if he makes mistakes or what. But he's the one who's trying to do, for me, what the instructions would be for playing out from the back, and Partey as well, to be fair. But yeah, for me, it's just about I'd much rather someone who's gonna keep coming, and that's how you build the consistency. Yeah. The amount of times sometimes you can see the back four get the ball and look and think, I've got to pump it, and we're not a team who's gonna win the long balls or challenge, and all we're doing is giving the ball away. So sometimes if you know my midfielder is gonna come, I now know my next move because I know Ceballos is gonna come and show, and then he's gonna look to play out to the left back or whoever it is.
It's like the conduit between the midfield.
I love this, the tactical side of football. Now we're getting to the nitty gritty of everything. This is great stuff. You know what? This is what, because this is, as fans and stuff, there are things that you see, and there's things that you don't see. Especially when you go to games, and that's when you pick up things. And Gums, are you coming in here and talking about the tactical aspect and players doing certain things? It just kind of like, it makes all the sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. And one thing I will say, sorry, just jumping in. I don't mean to jump in earlier. If you go back to the Olympiacos game, where we scored the 3, I don't think those goals happen if Ceballos isn't on the pitch. And again, this is where football, and this is where my argument with someone like Bruno Fernandes is yes, he might get the assist or he does, do you know what I mean? But the build-up's very important as well. So if you go back to the Olympiacos game, the football we was playing on the edge of their box to win the corner was Ceballos got on the ball about 10 times and got it, popped it. And we was very slow in that game before he come on. And that won the corner and Gabriel scored. The second guy, the other guy, I can't remember what it is. And then the one for El Nene, it was our throw-in on the left. And if you see how he wrapped the ball into Gabriel, And Gabriel then only had one choice, which was to get it into El Nene. But the speed of the pass
Made his mind up.
and it unsettled Olympiacos.
Yeah.
They didn't get a chance to then come back in and cover. So if you then look at El Nene, he's in acres of space. So again, another player might have taken an easier pass or gone back to whoever took the throw in. But Ceballos' pass opened up the game, even though he wouldn't get the assist. But you know what? The speed that he's playing at and the passing he's
You've got me
attempting-
wanting to go back and watch these.
No,
these
go
goals
back and
now.
watch it. And
I'm gonna have to.
yeah, honestly, and again, I know because I vouch for Ceballos and my friends will get on to me, so I have to find the good in what he does sometimes to say, "Look, I
Okay.
told you." But again, sometimes there is sometimes an easier pass, and Arsenal tend to make the easier pass, and hence why a lot of our play will just go backwards, and we will say it sideways. Sometimes we need someone who's going to take a bit of a risk, and again, it's
The one
very
thing
easy.
I will say about Bruno Fernandes is that although his passing stats might not be that high, but he does what you just said there. He tries that pass that is difficult.
Yeah, he tries the risky ones, and
he tries to, because if when they come off, that's an assist.
yeah. And it's the
And
thing
you
is
see-
like.
You
Go on,
see
Chris.
what I was saying the other day as well about like sometimes you can trust a player that might not be in the most might not be in as much space as you would think he is. But that Ceballos and Fernandes are those kind of players that are going to pass it into their feet anyway, and know that they can make that space for themselves, and put themselves in a dangerous position. You know, like they're just you need like a maverick in midfield, like in terms of how they distribute the ball, like just to bring a bit more invention to the table, man. Like,
Yeah.
Sorry, I know I could talk forever. and I think even-
I love it. Do you know, because it's a part of the show, and it's the analysis that we need really because we need to break down this team, man. Because look, at the end of the day, it's always just to kind of look at black and white, win, lose, or whatever. But look, you know what? Let's look at how we lost. Let's look at how we won. Let's look at how we drew, or whatever, and see where, you know what, Arteta's getting it wrong, or let's see what he's trying to do and he's getting it right. So this is the perfect way to break it down. Basically, is to look at how they're playing and look how they're set up. Different players do different things, and we see all of that. But Brezzy, who's going up front?
Wow. Who can we play? I mean,
I'll give you all the hard questions. I know I'm killing you. I'm always giving you the hard questions, but come on, man. Who would you put up top?
Well, obviously the next one in line is going to be Eddie. But the problem is, I have him. He's like, I think like King was saying in the previous show. You know, he's a two-man striker, so he needs someone up there with him.
Yeah.
I would love to give Balogun the chance because I just think he's a bit more all-round package, but I just think he lacks the experience that he needs. And if he's got, you know, a decent centre mid and attacking mid behind him like Smith Rowe, he could do the job. It's going to be obviously hard. I mean, I would love for Laka or Aubameyang to be up front because it makes it a lot more easier.
Breezy, would you not play Martinelli through the middle?
Good shout.
Yes, I would. The problem is I've seen his finishing, and he's a good finisher in the training videos. The problem is
in training he's good. I like that. I know a few of them players.
He hasn't really played there for the team, so he will be more row off the left than he will be obviously up front, and that's the whole reason why I would.
Sorry.
I would probably put Balogun up front, and I would probably put Martinelli on the left. I mean, I'm a big fan of Martinelli. I love the guy. I think he's absolutely top draw. I just think if we could give him a bit more game time up front, so he can kind of get a bit more of a feel of it, then fine. I just think just to throw him into a game like Everton, you know, as a striker, I just don't think that's going to suit anyone.
It's it's definitely a difficult kind of position. I mean, a lot of fans maybe, screaming for, you know what, look, we've got 6 games left, is there? 6-7 games left. Play Balogun.
I would play Balogun for this game, and I'll tell you why. Their centre backs are, Keane, and who's Mina. Yeah, I mean they're units. They're that's a whole chunk of them. I don't really look at Nketiah and see his main attributes being his physicality and his physical presence. I see that being something more Balogun will take on as he gets older, and I think for his age, he doesn't look like a small guy either for his age. So yeah, I think I'd give Balogun this game up front, and yeah, I'd probably play Martinelli on the left as well. Maybe they could switch roles and interchange. I want to see a bit more of that, a bit more interchange in between a front three. Whoever's on the right, if Pepe's cutting inside from the right hand side with his left foot and just telling them all to just interchange, that could work as well.
No, I think it would be good to see a little bit of a switch there between Martinelli and Balogun. That would be good. I mean, if one of them starts there and then keep them guessing, kind of thing. It would be good to see those two switch. I take we have you have a fan, Chris.
Yeah, indeed. Hello, hi, Donald. I'll be speaking to Ashley later.
So, guys, just want to obviously just wrap this up. Basically, I think we know that it's going to be a tough game, regardless tomorrow. Gumza, I mean, putting Eddie up front. I mean, would you go with that, or would you? I mean, Chris kind of intimated there. Maybe why not, or yourself, Martinelli through the middle. I think that's a good shout.
Yeah, I think I like the way Martinelli presses.
Yeah.
Don't think by any means he's the finished article yet. I think technically he's still short in a harsh way. But I think what then he lacks in that side, he makes up of his pace and his sharpness. So a lot of situations he probably gets himself out of. But yeah, to be fair, I think whichever one of them three start out of Martinelli, Nketiah, and Balogun, I think we just got to be patient with them.
Yeah. I see Martinelli becoming a striker in the future. I definitely don't see. I see him. 100%. I see that being a natural pathway of succession.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm hoping actually it would be good to have Odegaard back. Hopefully on tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we've definitely missed him.
I think to get him going again, because it was sad that he was getting going, really kind of acclimatized to the group and everything and how we play, and then he was cut down by injury. So that's just really sad.
I think
so hopefully he'll be back.
Yeah, I think was one thing with Nketiah is I don't think people appreciate his movement and how good it is. We know he's not going to be the best at holding the ball up.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of issues he had when he was playing at the start of the year was we was playing 5 at the back with no number 10. So that movement now just comes to nothing. Whereas I think
he played in a reverse fixture, didn't he? He played at Everton, didn't he? And
I couldn't remember that far back. To be fair,
I think he played in that game and he missed a kind of a golden chance.
Yeah, but I think also with Arsenal fans, we all do it. I think a player misses one chance and we're ready to kill, and it winds me up because, again, I had an argument. Ashley's there actually. Me and him go at it sometimes because, I understand his frustration sometimes with Lacazette. But my thing is, if you actually look at Lacazette's shots to goal ratio, he's probably the best in the league.
He's like the third best. He's like he's got the third best minutes to goal ratio.
Yeah, and Harry Kane, and even with minutes to goal, we don't create much. So the fact he is scoring and Aubameyang was scoring shows how good them lot really are. And again, you look at a Mo Salah, Harry Kane, they've only scored maybe 4 or 5 more goals than him. A few more.
Are we saying then that The problem then is our midfield creating those chances.
I think it's a big. I think if you look back at the years when I remember being about 5, 6, 7 years ago and moaning, saying if we had a striker to finish, we would score because Wiltshire, Cazorla, Ozil, them boys are creating 10, 15 chances a game for
But they're also scoring as well.
Yeah,
they were also chipping in with more goals than we're seeing from our midfield area of this day as well.
Yeah,
You know?
and again, as I said, if you think of the strikers we had then, like Shamak up front, do you know what I mean? No, I did like Giroud, but again, he would still have 4 chances a game. Welbeck would have chances. So to moan at Lacazette when he misses one, don't get me wrong, the ones he misses are like, you've got to be scoring that. But as I said, Harry Kane's probably scored 4 more goals than him, and he's had almost 3 times the amount of shots.
Yeah,
I've seen Harry Kane miss 1-on-1s, but the thing is, because he's had 5 chances, you're not thinking of the ones he missed.
Yeah,
you're looking at the 2 he's bagged. So
the thing is with Lacazette, he's missed like some important chances. So you think one against an NPR, because I remember in the first game against
Liverpool.
They're important ones, you know, to put them away and then boom, you know.
The game's different. The game is different. But again, if he had another look at Andy Cole. Andy Cole's regarded as one of the best strikers, but Andy Cole had so many chances. But because his team are creating so many, he could score 3, miss 15, and no one cares about the 15 he missed. And again, for Arsenal now, every chance they miss, it's a big issue because that's the only chance we created that game. So I feel Eddie's under enormous pressure and it's not really deserved. It's he's a kid. Like Harry Kane come in at 23 and hit the ground running.
I mean, he's a kid, but you know, if you're good enough, you're old enough, kind of thing. And he's played many games, and there's kind of like, you know, my argument maybe with him is that Arteta gave him a run of games, right? He must have had a conversation and said, look, do you know what? I'm going to play these games. Don't worry about it. It's not a case of I'm going to play you one game and take you out, whatever. So, you know, just go in there, relax, play your game, how you are, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I've not seen something where I'm just like, oh, okay, Eddie's up front, whatever. You know,
Fuck Eddie, bro. Bun that guy, man. That guy, bro. You're coming in on freaking talking about Eddie, you know. I'm going back out, bro. Bye, guys.
Listen. I love this guy, Nigerian Englishman. I just love the fact you're just stepping on the room. You got no tune for us today.
Come on, mate.
There we go.
You done though, man. I have to come with the intro each and every time.
So
I've enjoyed the show though. The newcomer, the debut represented.
Thank you.
Appreciate
it. Live from Lagos. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure, bro. Do you know what it was, right? When I saw that Canners was on the show, I had to make an appearance. He knows the rules. Canners knows the rules. We'll go into that. We'll go into that later.
But we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna wrap this up before that. I'm gonna go through a couple of comments that we come in, and the one which I highlighted before, and I just wanted to get a quick one-liner from all you guys, basically, from this comment. Nigerian Englishman, let's start with you first. What did you guys think of the lame response of Josh Kroenke, especially him saying they have no intention to sell? Quick one-liner. Was it sincere? Was it enough?
To be honest, I'm not even upset about him. Like, I'm upset about him speaking, period. Not even what he said. Why is our owner Josh Kroenke? That's what I'm upset. I didn't even care
his
what
toy.
he said.
It's his toy. His daddy bought him a toy, innit?
So, boy, that's my stance. I don't give a damn what anything that comes out of Josh Kroenke's mouth because he's irrelevant to me. So the fact that they're even sending him to speak to us is disrespect. That's literally disrespect. Sending us sidemen when you're about to sell our club to the Super League. Shut up, man. It's a joke. It's actually a joke, like what they're doing. Like,
he's taking us for fools, isn't it? Really?
Like, legitimately, he basically said, "You know what, son? True that you've watched me run like businesses. I think you're ready. Like, you kind of shadowed me. I mean, you sat on my knee a few times in business meetings and that. So yeah, come and run this club. Like, have it as your little plaything. If it doesn't work out, don't worry. We still got the American clubs. But for now, you can just pay your wages from that, basically." That's how our club is right now. It's a joke.
I'm not surprised at all in anything he said. You know, like nothing surprises me with these owners anymore. I know their intention isn't to sell because they make a pretty penny from us. You know, like
Exactly.
they're doing what they came to do. And I think I don't know if anyone's watched John Barnes' interview that he gave the other day. I think he hit the nail on the head. You know, like we let these billionaires in, and we expected a fucking Christmas card. It seems. Excuse my French, you know, but you know, billionaires accumulate and amass their wealth, you know, from being business first. You know, I think it's an absolute insult that they could take on like an undertaking of such a decision without actually consulting any fan forum, you know, any group of fans. And I agree with Nigerian Englishman. You know, for this is a statement that should have come from Stan Kroenke. You know, like I think of Game of Thrones when Eddard starts talking to you know, all of his sons. You know, basically saying, you know, if I pass the sentence, then I've got to swing the sword. You know, like talking about, you know, taking responsibility for something you own. That it should have been his responsibility and his alone. You know, you look at credit to Liverpool, even though I don't think there's any.
I don't credit.
There's no heroes in this story, but at least the FSG guy came out and actually made a public address himself. You know.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Go ahead. Sorry, Gumzo.
Yeah, for me, it's just he's made the statement because he's got to make the statement.
Yeah.
Does he really care about it? Probably not.
Yeah.
If I'll be honest with what John Barnes has said, he was 100% right. With regards to the Super League, I wasn't against that. I was against the format and what they wanted to propose. But you know what? I quite like the opposition to UEFA. I don't think UEFA's done enough for me.
On that page, yes.
Yeah, so I think what they should have done is have the consultation, because there could have been ideas come out of it which would have put them in position to then move forward with something. So with regards to, again, 2 groups of 10, you could have made that 2 leagues, and it's League 1 and League 2, and there's promotion and relegation. And then you could have said, right, we could hold 40 teams or we could hold 60 teams. And that way, the European competition would still be a qualification, but you then, once you're in there, you're in a different league as such. So there was ways around, I think, actually creating a really cool idea or new concept.
For sure, but their format was just wrong.
Yeah, their format killed themselves. So I think if they had opened up to the masses and said, look, let's get rid of the Champions League in that format, but make it a league, because I do like the idea of playing a season to see who's the best, not one-off games. Again, you look at Tottenham in the Carabao Cup final, and you look at who they played to get there, and it's like, actually, it's not really a fair representation because you had whipping boys the whole way through. So, do you know what I mean? Whereas all the other big clubs took each other out, and Tottenham just snuck through the back door and got to a final. So I would like to see a
typical
20-game competition to see who is the best. So, but again, this could have been done potentially at the end of a season where there's no Euros and no World Cup. They could have put something there to say, right, we're going to hold a tournament, which is a bit different to the Champions League. And you know what I mean? You could even have said we invite every team or the top 15 from every country. Whoever comes 15th in your league plays the 15th for France, 15th for Spain, 15th for Italy, and then you accumulate points. And then that way we can see who the strongest league is or something different. So
you need to go on that panel.
Yeah,
start earning your dollars there.
Do you know what I mean? So
I get what you're saying.
You know, we always say which is the best league.
There is ways around it. I mean,
and we always have the convo, don't we? Which is the best league? Even again, a bit like America, where they have the Pro Bowl and they do it in NBA. So you could have done something like, right, every team in England, you've got 2 players, pick a manager. So just say it's Brendan Rodgers, right? You pick 2 players from every team in England. And that represents England. So it doesn't have to be English players. It could be Thomas Partey and Aubameyang from Arsenal. Yeah. Brent Fernandes and so on. And then that's the Premier League. And they go and play a Spanish team. And then Italian
like an all-star
team, right? So if the Super League was thinking along them lines, you might have got something put in place and something different. So I'm not against change, because I think sometimes change is good. And UEFA, to me, it just stinks, because once it's their pockets, look how they reacted. Do you know what I mean? And I wasn't again. I like the fact that people have actually challenged them a little bit, Because
so
when
the
they were
format was all wrong. But I think
they
absolutely,
shouldn't isolate all the other clubs.
The
That was
format
bad.
and the delivery, not consulting the other clubs. You know, basically teams only being there by virtue of being the
All wrong.
richest club
All
wrong.
in that league.
All wrong.
So what they're going to do is, if they compete in their normal leagues, they're in another league which is going to make them even more revenue and drive even more of a financial wedge between them and the other 14 teams below it, which makes it even more unfair.
And
You know, I think we've got a big enough problem, you know, within football where, you know, at the moment, if you go to the top leagues in Europe, the ones that are winning it the most invariably are the richest. You know, like, let's not beat around the bush here. You know, I mean, what is the format that they put it in? How is that gonna balance out that state of play? It's not. It's gonna just perpetuate it further.
Yeah,
you know, that's what.
Hey,
This
but the owners don't care about that.
92. This all started back in 92 in the inception of the Premiership. So that's that. Brezzy, yourself, because I'm gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, I'll be very quick. I mean, to be honest, I didn't want it, if I'm honest, but obviously listening to the panel here, obviously with Guns, what he was saying.
But
to be honest,
what do you think of Josh Kroenke's response though?
Oh, wow, you know, like I agree with Nigerian. It should be Stan. You know, he is the owner. He should be out there, you know, facing the media, facing the fans, and saying, you know, we've fucked up. Sorry, blah blah blah. We're gonna put it right, blah blah blah. Not Josh. End of the day, he's the son. Stan owns it. Stan should be the one facing the media.
And also
Stan,
no intention to sell. So we're stuck with these guys.
Well, I just think, well, you know, he clearly is a businessman. He doesn't want trophies. He doesn't want glory. You know, he doesn't want any of that. So, you know, for us,
that lays
every day I wake up in the morning and I pray for Dan Gode to finish these projects that he's working on. The Nigerian guy, that wants to buy us out, man. He's no, he's serious.
If he had liquid cash, he would do it, but he doesn't have liquid cash.
Yeah, no, but I mean, when he says he's going to do something, you know, he follows through, man. He's, you know, if you follow his career and how he's got to where he is, that's just the way he is. And he said it was this year that he was going to buy it. And who knows? You know, I think
let's see what happens.
Do you know what I would like to hear? Like, I like the Barcelona and Real Madrid president. They've kind of stuck to their guns. And do you know, I'd have respected these guys more if they come out and explained the reasons why it was a benefit for us, rather than say, because Chelsea come out and straight and said, oh, we felt forced. And Arsenal came out the same as, oh, we felt like it was either a Super League with us or without us. We chose to be with it. So it's like, well, explain the reasons why. What would have been the benefits? Because again, there might have been benefits. Again, they know they had to get voted in from the rest of the Premier League. So again, like you're saying, Chris, about the finances side, there was no way these 6 teams could have gone there without passing money down. Like, they would have had to have broke off some money. Now, if you then look at it, the other qualification places would go to the other 6 or 7. So now you're going to have 13 teams in Europe. So now actually there's actually more money around for a team like Leeds, who now aren't going to make Europe. They'll be in UEFA Cup. So they might have made an extra 15 mil. So for me, it was like, actually, if you're a bit more transparent, let's see what the benefits could be before you make a decision. But I think everyone's just jumped and gone crazy. And to me, do you know what? Let's have a look at it, discuss it, and then you never know what could come of it. Do you know what I mean? Because then UEFA might say, actually, we could take that idea and move it forward. So I would have rather Kroenke had come out and said, this is the reasons why we actually thought it was a good idea. And do you know, we wasn't going to leave the other clubs. It was a fact of, do you know what I mean? A, B, and C.
Tournament and blah, 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 right?
I just think there's a big problem at the moment, you know, in football with, you know, sort of the inequity of smaller teams, you know, through, you know, just basically, you know, teams like City that can kind of manipulate what they're doing to, and then just take the fine or you know, take a 2-year transfer ban just, you know, for not caring about financial fair play rules.
Yeah.
You know, they're talking about, and I think what's going through is financial fair play going out of the window to help teams recover.
Hold on.
The pandemic. So I mean, like,
has there been financial fair play? Like,
what I want to do is,
it's just when does it stop, man?
This discussion could go on and
we got 5 minutes to make it an hour, Canners, man. We got it.
That's what I didn't want.
We're here. We've arrived here.
We always take 40 minutes. It's always an hour.
Seriously, the last points I wanted to come really was just school predictions ready for tomorrow, because look, we need to do maybe look we can do a gunslingers on Wednesday. We can do like the fallout from this, what's happened over the Super League, and what it means for us going forward. That would be a great topic, and I think that's something that everyone's passionate about. But getting back to more immediate, discussion here. Tomorrow night, Nigerian Englishman. Score
2-0 Arsenal, mate. 2-0.
Oh, you didn't even wait for me to finish that one.
2-0, bro.
2-0,
Balogun's going to score
Brezzy.
1-2, bro.
Brezzy?
2-1.
Okay.
2-1 who?
Yeah.
2-1 Arsenal.
Okay. Mr. King.
If I'm being honest, yeah, I definitely see them scoring. Yeah, they've got. I like their attacking players a lot. Yeah, pains me to see Chames playing for them, and we could have had him, but yeah, I think they'll score. I think it will either be a score draw, 1-1, or 2-1, either way. I can't call who would win it.
Defense then, yeah.
Hey, man.
I'll defense to you then.
Gun to your head. What are you saying? Gun to your head. What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm with Chris. No, I'm gonna go Arsenal, because again, I just feel when the times when we think we're gonna lose or drop points, we seem to turn up and win. So
True that.
I'm gonna be bold and go 3-1.
Oi.
Yeah, out the blue.
I'm gonna say it with my chest. I'm gonna say we're gonna do this 2-1. We might be down for that. We might concede first, but I think we'll come back. Or if we score first, they might equalise. But I think we'll take this game 2-1. So that's it.
Is this
guys.
at the Emirates, by the way?
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Bottom line is, I don't really care about the results. So that's what I'm saying.
That's
to you
what
now,
I was
mate.
saying at the start.
Europa League, Europa.
That's what I was
That's
saying
it.
at the start.
Rest
So
the man
guys,
them.
I would have
What?
thanked you. I would have thanked you. Now you come with all your energy. Damn, man.
Sorry.
Listen, blessed to have you guys on here. Brezzy,
cheers.
thumbs up. Welcome to the family. King.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great debut.
Yeah.
Thank
Cheers.
you, guys. Come on, you Gunners.
care.
Speak soon.
We are Arsenal.